hypotheses. For example, I think that ethical concerns has a negative effect on satisfaction with work, and I think that ethical concerns has a positive effect on burnout from management. How would I test these in smart-PLS 4? Well, assuming my measurement model, my outer model, is valid, then I would go to Calculate and choose either the PLS-SEM algorithm or the consistent algorithm. Usually we use the consistent algorithm when all latent factors are reflective, meaning the arrows point outward from the latent factor to their observed items. That is the case with my variables here, so that's what I'll select. Since we're testing a path hypothesis, a structural hypothesis, I will keep it on path, and then I will start calculation. Here are the results. What we're seeing here are the path coefficients for these tested paths. We can also see these in the report if we click on Report. We can see the path coefficients right here in matrix or list form. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this out to Excel. The way to do this is select all of it and then right-click and hit Copy. You can't just hit Control-C or Command-C. That doesn't register with smart-PLS 4 just yet. I'll go over to Excel, paste that in, open that up a bit. So we have some evidence. These are the standardized path coefficients. But what we don't have is any p-values. As you look down this list here, and I know it's small, there are no p-values, just as before. In order to get p-values, you need to bootstrap. So let's run a bootstrap instead. We'll go back, go to Calculate, and Consistent PLS SEM Bootstrapping. I'm just going to accept the defaults. One very nice thing about smart-PLS 4 is it allows for parallel processing, so it's much faster than previous versions of PLS. Hit Start Calculation. And that was nice and fast. Now there are a couple things that'll be different. First, right now, the p-values are showing on the model. That's new. Usually in the previous versions, it would show the t-values. And this confused a lot of people. But here they are, the t-values if you want to see them, or the p-values if you prefer. Or, even better, path coefficients and p-values. That's nice. Let's say we wanted to copy this out to our Word document. You can right-click anywhere on this canvassing area and select Export as Image. Just going to copy it to the clipboard and then go paste it over in a Word document. There it is. Very nice. Next, if we want to see the p-values in a table, we would go to Report, and the default to show you is that table with the original sample estimate, the sample mean estimate, which is the average estimate across all 5,000 bootstrap samples, and of course standard deviation, t-statistic, and the p-values. Now you can export this to a CSV, or as again, you can select all of it, copy it, and go over to Excel and paste it in Excel. It doesn't paste very well in Word. I'll show you what happens when we paste in Word. Here it is in Excel. If I go over to Word and try to paste this, we get something that looks like this. Kind of a mess. So paste it in Excel first, and then you can copy from Excel back over into Word. So copy that and paste that down here. That's better, especially if I give it some borders. There we go. All right, well, let's test this hypothesis. So our first hypothesis was that ethical concerns has a negative effect on satisfaction with work. Here's the model. Shows ethical concerns has a negative 0.340 with a 0 p-value on satisfaction with work. So the evidence seems to support our hypothesis. We could double check this also by checking the effect size and also the R-squared. So over in the output, if I zoom in here, we can see that the R-squared and F-squared don't actually show up when you do bootstrapping. So let's zoom out, go back, and then calculate PLS algorithm, consistent, start calculation, and now when we go to the report, we'll be able to see the quality criteria. Here's the R-squared, which we can copy out to our table if we want. Copy, paste that in here, and then we can also get the F-square. Select F squared to see a bar chart of it, but I like the matrix instead. Select all this, copy it out. And what do we see? First, the ethical concerns has an F squared of 0.295 on satisfaction with work, which means that it has a moderate effect. And the dependent variable in this relationship, satisfaction with work, has an R squared of 0.761, which is fairly large. So there is a sufficient explanation of variance. So I would say all the evidence points towards yes, ethical concerns does have a meaningful negative direct effect on satisfaction with work. The same could be said for ethical concerns having a positive effect on burnout from management. A nice strong 0.625. And if we go look at the R square on burnout from management, it's 0.391, which is still respectable. And the effect from ethical concerns to burnout from management, that F squared for that effect is 0.642, which is very large. So there we have it. Those